Hello, fifth graders. We are going to go ahead and do this reading together and answer the questions together. So if you would follow along, I want to just make sure you get the right information right away and there aren't any misconceptions. And if you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask. We have the question box there in the Canvas that you can ask anonymous questions. You also have one of the benefits of being home during this time of COVID is that you've more than likely got a parent with you at home, and they are more than likely happy to answer any questions that you have. So let's begin. We're going to start with the male reproductive system. I'm going to go ahead and read the reading, and then we'll look at the questions and find the answers. Reproduction is the process of producing a new human being. This new human is created through the combining of a human sperm and egg. Let's take a closer look at the male portion of the reproductive system. The male reproductive system has two very important jobs. First of all, it produces sperm. Second of all, it delivers the sperm to the female reproductive system. Sperm are produced in the male body in the testes. Men have two testes, which rest in the scrotum, a sac that hangs from the body. Each testis has tubes called seminiferous tubules, where several 100 million sperm are produced each day beginning at puberty. The sperm are stored and mature in the epididymis. Another tube passes from each epididymis into the body. It is called a vas deferens. The sperm swim through this tube and mix with fluids from several glands, creating a mixture called semen. In order for the sperm from the male to join with the egg from the female, the sperm has to leave the male body, of course. In order to do that, the semen goes from the vas deferens into the urethra. The urethra in a male runs through his penis. The penis is a male organ that has two roles. It removes urine as part of the excretory system, which we looked at last week. In terms of the reproductive system, the penis's job is to release semen into the female's reproductive system during sexual intercourse. It does this as it becomes erect when the male is excited. The release of sperm is called ejaculation. The two functions of the penis, urination and ejaculation, do not occur at the same time. Good male reproductive health is essential to those men who want to become fathers as well as those who want to remain in general good health. Therefore, it is important for all men to protect themselves from sexually transmitted diseases, prevent jock itch by avoiding damp clothes, not sharing towels with others, and drying thoroughly after a shower. In addition, men should make every effort to prevent injuries, especially during sports, and prevent hernias by avoiding too much strain when carrying things. All right, you're going to need a highlighter or a yellow colored pencil of some sort, something to be able to highlight where we're going to find these answers. Question 1 says, which is not a function of the male reproductive system? A, to produce sperm. B, to deliver sperm to the female reproductive system. C, to produce eggs. What is not a function? Well, let's read. First of all, it produces sperm. Well, so it's not that one. Second of all, it delivers the sperm to the female reproductive system. To deliver sperm to the female reproductive system. And C, so it's not B. C says to produce eggs. So the male reproductive system does not produce eggs. We know that they produce sperm. We can just highlight this part here. And I'm going to put a little 1 next to it because that's our answer for number 1. Number 2, several 100 million sperm are produced in the male reproductive system each minute. Here, Each testy has tubes called seminiferous tubules, where several 100 million sperm are produced each day, beginning at puberty. This says each minute. So this is false. Our answer is each day, and we find that here, each day. Number 3, sperm mature and are stored in the A, semen, B, urethra, or C, epididymis. So the semen is the combination fluid from glands and the sperm. And if you remember from the It's So Amazing, that fluid is what helps energize and allow the semen to move. So sperm is not stored in semen. Urethra is the place where both urine and semen leave the body. So the sperm is not stored there. Epididymis is the last one. And if we read here, the sperm swim through this tube and mix with fluids from several glands. Oh, sorry, up here. The sperm are stored and mature in the epididymis. There it is. So our answer is C. Number 4, the fluid that contains sperm as it leaves the male body is called A, semen, B, penis, C, amniotic fluid. Well, we actually kind of just talked about this. The sperm swim through this tube and mix with fluids, there's the fluids, from several glands, creating a mixture called semen. Let's highlight that whole portion there. So our answer is A. Number 5, the male body releases urine and semen at the same time. All right, we've said it. It says here, and it says in the It's So Amazing book, that the two functions, urination and ejaculation, don't occur at the same time. So this would be false. They happen at 2 different times. Number 6, the release of sperm from the penis is called A, ejaculation, B, erection, or C, fertilization. I have to reread to find it. Here we go. The release of sperm is called ejaculation. The release of sperm from the penis is called A, ejaculation. There it is. The reason we want to highlight, and when we anytime we do readings like this, is we want to make sure we have the correct answer. But especially when we're learning about our own bodies, we want to make sure we have the right answer and the right knowledge and information. So it's important to go back in our reading to make sure that we are correct. I believe there's another page. Number 7, preventing sexually transmitted diseases is essential to male reproductive health. I've got my other reading here. Good male reproductive health is essential to those men who want to become fathers, as well as those who want to remain in general good health. Therefore, it is important for all men to protect themselves from sexually transmitted diseases. There it is. So that is B, true. And the sequence, the correct path of sperm through the male reproductive system. Well, it starts in the testes or the testicles. And we can go back and look. Sperm are produced in the male body in the testes. All right, so the first one is testes. Then each testis has tubes called seminiferous tubules where several 100 million sperm are stored each day, beginning at puberty. The sperm are stored and mature in the epididymis. So the sperm start in the testes, and then they are stored and mature in the epididymis. So A would come next. Another tube passes from each epididymis into the body. It is called a vas deferens. So our next one would be C. The sperm swim through this tube and mix with fluids from several glands, creating a mixture in semen. And then in order to do that, the semen go from the vas deferens into the urethra. And that is where the sperm exit the penis. So B, A, C, D. Describing the jobs of the male reproductive system. This again, I mean, we've got all this space, but this is a pretty simple explanation here. If we go back, the male reproductive system has two very important jobs. First, it produces sperm. Describe the job of the male reproductive system. So job one, produces sperm. You know what? We better make, this is an essay, we better have full sentences. The first job of the male reproductive is produce sperm. Okay. The second job is to, we always want to go back to our reading to make sure we're correct. If I can find our reading. There we go. Second of all, it delivers the sperm to the female reproductive system. So the second job is to deliver sperm to female reproductive system. All right, if you need to pause to catch up, do so. The last part of the male reproductive system is filling in the chart or the diagram of the male reproductive system. So up here, this is the bladder, and males and females have a bladder. That's where our urine or pee is stored. So we'll call that the bladder, and we can cross out bladder at the bottom. And I know you can't see my bottom page, but that's okay. Okay, this whole reproductive system is called the penis. The sperm tube is here. They call the sperm tube here. We can also call it a vas deferens, but we'll call it what it is in the word bank. Sperm tube. Sounds less like a scientific term, doesn't it? The scrotum is the sac that holds the testicles. So this is the scrotum, and that hangs outside of the body. And remember, like in the It's So Amazing book, it describes the testicles have to be cooler than the rest of the body because the sperm, if they're too hot, if they get too warm, they die. The sperm die. So the testicles have to hang outside of the body to keep the sperm cool, which I think is a really neat way, a cool thing that the male body does. It's impressive. The testes is plural for testicles, are here. This is where the sperm is produced. And the urethra is here. This is where the sperm and urine as well is released. And females also have an urethra where urine is released from the body. All right, there is the male reproductive system. Go to the next video to see the female reproductive system.